Hey, what's up? I'm Mike with Stained, and you're tuned in to Hit the Floor.
Hi, this is Lois for Hit the Floor, and I'm here with Mike from Stained. Hello, how are you?
Fine, yourself?
I'm very well, apart from running up that hill. But anyway, we'll crack on with, you've got your new self-titled album, Stained, which is your 7th album. Mm-hmm. This one's a lot heavier than sort of the rest of the stuff that you've done, and it's more consistent, like heaviness from beginning to end. And what made you, what came about with this decision?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a return to where we started and why we started the band. You know, I mean, I think when we started back in, 95, and our first record we did in 96, I mean, we were playing with like real heavy bands in, Massachusetts and the New England area. And, our first record, Dysfunction, was like that. And I think we kind of started to get away from that, introduced acoustic guitars a little bit more. I mean, and it was great. We always just tried to, keep growing and moving and changing as a band. Sure. And I think it got us really far away from where we started from, and like especially the last record was just really different for us. There's a lot of different instrumentation, different styles of music, and I think upon completing that, we all kind of felt like it was time to go back to why we started as a band.
The song "It's Been a While" is obviously one of your biggest songs. It's what people kind of know you best for, and it was actually, am I right? It's one of the most played rock songs of all time.
Of the last decade.
I mean, that's quite an achievement. Yeah. So what made you move on from that kind of record to the sort of heavier stuff now? Is it again the same? You wanted to go back to your roots?
Yeah.
Bring the fans something.
Yeah, and we, when we got together, we knew we wanted to do that. I mean, in fact, there were some great songs that really didn't fit into what we wanted to do that we didn't record. I mean, I think they could have been, great songs, but it was like, well, it doesn't fit into what we want to do. It could have been on, some other record maybe, but this record's not about that. So
sure, okay. Yeah. At the time of making this new record, your lead singer was obviously, he was out working, being very successful in his solo career. How did this sort of affect the band as a whole? In a positive way, negative way? Did it make it difficult, easier?
Oh no, it definitely made it more difficult. I mean, I think, and look, it was a hard record to make. I mean, we lost our drummer, which wasn't an easy decision. It took a long time to finally get to, all right, this is what's going to happen, It months it went on, and it was very, very difficult. We had a deadline to meet. We had to have all the songs done and finished and turned in by the beginning of May. And, in the meantime, Aaron put out a solo record and is out promoting it. So, the music was pretty much done, and he has to write lyrics and melodies, and he's out playing shows. Yeah. So, I mean, it was hard.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, look, he came back and worked, and we got it done, and he did a great job. But, I mean, it was down to the last, the very end, trying to get it done.
Definitely. You talked about then your drummer, John, leaving. So do you think making that record, it being so hard, was the reason perhaps that he left? It just became too much? No, I mean,
before that kind of happened, that kind of made things more difficult, really, is what it was. I mean, look, I think when we got together to start writing in December, I think that I don't think we're all on the same page. I think everybody had different motivations and different reasons for being there, and it just it kind of started to fall apart pretty quickly.
Okay.
And I think as time went on and we thought about things and tried to work through things, we kind of realized that there was kind of only one solution, unfortunately.
But do you think almost those kind of feelings are portrayed in a positive way in the album? It's come out, you think we're feeling more emotional and this is coming through in our music? I
don't know if it's positive. I know lyrically it came through. Because I've heard Aaron say that a lot of the inspiration for the lyrics is what happened while we were trying to make the record.
Sure, definitely.
Musically, most of the music was pretty much done at that point, so it was just a matter of getting everything recorded.
Did you have a lot of corporate influence? I know you were saying that you had deadlines to meet. Some of your first records that you made, you just kind of went with it and you did what you wanted to do. Did you have a more corporate influence on this, or did you say, back off, we want to do this?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I mean, I'll go back from the beginning, because when we did our first record, Dysfunction, for a label, nobody cared.
Yeah.
We had the songs, we recorded them, we mixed them, we turned it in, great. They put out a record. We never had an A&R guy, which most bands have an A&R guy, which kind of oversees your record. And they tell you if the songs are good, if they're not, you have to write more songs. We never had that on the first record. We went out, we sold them, over 1 million copies of it. Now everybody is paying attention to what we do. So when we did Break the Cycle, we still never had an A&R person, but we had the president of our independent label, we had our management company, we had all these people now having an opinion on what we did. So we went through that. 14 Shades of Grey was really hard to finish for the same reason. We always got, we don't hear our first single. And we always heard that. And I think that's what they tell every band, is they want you to write more songs.
Yeah,
that's all they want to do. This record was really the first time we ever had an A&R guy. And he's a true A&R guy that's done, some of the biggest records you can name. He's worked on. And I had only spoken to him on the phone, and I remember we had 5 songs done, and he came to Chicago, where our producer's from. We went to his studio, and we mixed 5 songs. And he was coming in, and he hadn't heard anything. He had no idea. We just, they let us alone. We did our thing. We wrote our songs. We had 5 of them done. He was coming here for the first time. Yeah. And I had no idea what to expect. And, literally the first song played, and he said, that's the #1 rock song.
Brilliant.
And I had no idea what we had. I had no idea, because we got so close to it. I'll even tell you, when we finished the record, I had Johnny, the producer, as I was finishing the last few guitar things, I shut the vocals off. I didn't want to hear it, because I didn't like what we did. I didn't like what it was so difficult that I just didn't want to listen to it at all.
Sure.
And it was probably about 4 or 5 days later, I had the CD, and I hadn't thought about it. I just was so happy it was done. Yeah. And I remember putting it on in my car, and I was Eyes Wide Open was on, and I was like, wow, this is a really good song. But it took me stepping away from it for a while to kind of be able to hear what we did.
Sure.
Because I really had no idea. And in hindsight, I'm very proud of what it is. And like the song "Wanna Be" on the record where Aaron raps, I couldn't even listen to. I was just like,
Yeah.
And then I heard it when I got away, and I went, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Good. And I loved it.
Brilliant.
But it took me a minute.
Define what you personally think is selling out, and how important to you is staying true.
I don't know.
Because I think there's a big stigma around if you start off a small band, you've got your fans, and then you make it big, you've sold out. But why?
This is what happened. This is my explanation for it. Because look, we've always only written the songs that we've written. We've never had anybody. We've never hired outside writers to come in and write. Which I can guarantee you, every rock band on the radio, 99% of them do.
Sure.
99% of the songs you hear on the radio are written by the same 6 people.
Yeah.
And nobody knows that. They have these American Idol people, and they go to these group of songwriters, and they write them songs, and they're all written by the same people. And they're the ones making the money, not the people singing. It's the people that wrote it. But we've always written our own songs, and always been true to what we do. As far as the selling out thing goes, I was asked this yesterday, and my explanation for it is that I go back to Dysfunction. We spent a year and a half on the road, only touring the States, actually, which was a mistake in our career. We should have came over here sooner. One of the many mistakes, but and I think what happens, a lot of people discovered us because all we ever did was open for bands. We opened for Limp Bizkit, we opened for Kid Rock, we opened for Korn, we opened for Seven Dust. And we built this fan base and sold 1 million records kind of quietly by working very hard.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of these people that saw us kind of felt us as like a closeness to the band, like, oh, there's this cool band that we like, and then, Outside comes out, and it's been a while, and your #1 record in the country, and it's on every station, and all of a sudden, these people that thought that you were your band, you know what I mean? Now they hear like somebody at school that they don't think is cool talking about the band, and they're like, oh, they're not cool anymore.
Yeah.
They sold out. Well, the time we sold out, we got really, really lucky that we had a song that got played a lot. You know, I mean, it wasn't that we ever sold out. We just
I wasn't saying
no, I'm not saying that you are.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you are. But I mean, I think what happened was I think we actually, look, there's a stigma that comes up, but I think, to me, it's luck. It's like an eclipse. I said, you know, to have that kind of success that we had for a minute, you know, it was, you know, like everything had to be working just right. Right song, right time, right people working it, doing the right thing. And, you know, we were, you know.
Yeah.
But I think what happens is, like I said, those people that, you know, thought you were their band, now, you know, these other people that are now talking about it, like, oh, they're not cool anymore.
How do you think those old fans, the real sort of ones from the beginning, how they'll react to this album?
I don't know. I mean, I hope they take a minute and take the time to listen to it. I mean, I think one of the biggest things today is that people don't buy albums.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, we worked really, really hard to try to make something, you know, 10 songs that, you know, you want to listen to all of them from beginning to end. And we've always done that. And all I can say is somebody give it a chance and check it out. I mean, especially if you liked what we were doing, you know, before, because I think this is, you know, that except a lot better.
Cool. And what do you think might be your appeal to new fans, perhaps? People...
I don't know. I mean, I think if you're a fan of aggressive music, I think that there's melody there. I think that there's, you know, cool guitar riffs, and I just think that it's I don't know. Look, this is our 7th record, you know, and I don't think I've had a record before that we've done that I wanted to go back and listen to again, and I can actually still go home. Like when we finish a record, my wife usually doesn't hear it, and she'll like have it in the car and want to listen to it. I'm like, oh my God, do we have to listen to this? And now when it's on, I don't mind this one.
Okay, good.
And it's not that I just don't want to hear it anymore, because I just, you know, like I said before, you work so hard, you're so close to, you know. And this one I enjoy listening to, so I don't know.
Okay, good. You talked about your wife there, and I know that you have twins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what's your favourite thing to do? Obviously, you're a family man. What's your favourite thing to do when you get home? Just to relax or take a step back from... No, just hug those guys
as long as I can, you know. Just see them. I mean, it's always funny. They always have when I'm away, they always have a sack of stuff that they draw pictures for me, and, you know, and they have a mailbox that they fill up, and Mikey has this other box that he has waiting, because my room that I work is upstairs, and he puts it on the stairs, and all that stuff's waiting for me when I get home.
So it's like Christmas when you get home almost.
Yeah, they're the best.
And are you quite traditional in when they were younger? Do you sing lullabies to them, or would you sing like your favourite rock song?
No. We were always kid stuff. You know what I mean? It was always about them, and kid stuff for sure. Yeah.
And we look forward definitely to seeing your show tonight. I'm sure it'll be amazing.
I hope it's all right.
And it's absolutely a pleasure to meet you. So thank you
you
very much.
Appreciate it.